The second field management program is our Improving Franchisee Performance training program, which obviously is for field managers as well. I guess just to kick things off, what's really interesting about that one and unfortunate about the current situation is that we developed that effectively immediately after the GFC, in particular recognising the need to really engage with franchisees on their numbers and seeing that as an area of opportunity within some of the field managers that we'd worked with on the field visit foundations program, and seeing that's really an area where some upskilling would be really valuable. So on that day, there are a number of areas obviously that we work through. We're talking about financial information in relation to field visits, financial and non-financial performance metrics, how that financial information relates to the business model of the respective franchisee, benchmarking, sensitivity analysis and performance diagnostics, franchisee business planning, overcoming common challenges working with franchisees, and then rounding up with some top tips and strategies. And then throughout the day, of course, we've got our struggling bakery franchisee situation, which is a fictitious situation, obviously, Michelle, where you and I own this bakery business. You're probably doing a great job, but I'm doing a rubbish job. And we can see our numbers. We can see how our numbers compared to other franchisees within the group. We're not doing too good, and we need a lot of help. So, yeah, thoughts on this one, Michelle?
Yeah, I think the course is really good because of all the information that we provide, the financial metrics. Everyone's on the same page to start with. And it's always interesting that, just the misunderstanding or the lack of understanding around benchmarking and how it's such a powerful tool. Franchisees are generally quite entrepreneurial. And I know from my time at being one, it's always good to have that little bit of rivalry and competition going between franchisees. So, and the other thing being that sensitivity analysis, just a 1% difference here and a 1% difference here in different areas, like you say, financial and non-financial, makes such a huge impact to a franchisee's business. And then also how crucial those, the benchmarking and even sensitivity analysis can be to the field visit process, that it's actually really pivotal to the success of the field visits themselves. So, I find it really interesting, especially watching the attendees become familiar with some of the reports. There's such a raft out there within different organisations and networks about what reports they have available to them and their proficiency. Everyone comes with a different level of understanding to the course, but by the end of it, just watching their confidence and how quick they are at moving between the reports and fishing for information and how they present that information is really interesting. And it's always good to see, people that aren't that confident around financial reports, by the end of the session, how confident they are and how they can pinpoint a problem before it snowballs. So yeah, I think it's a really good course for anyone that's wanting to support franchisees and really understand the drivers behind their business.
And like you said, that was sort of one of the reasons for putting it together, was to really for field managers to be able to more confidently engage with franchisees on something that really matters, which is how they better understand their business and perhaps can make a better result out of running it. And for me, I think the case study that we have and how we use it to introduce concepts of, be it financials or the non-financial metrics, use of the P&L, the balance sheet, cash flow, again, some of the non-financial metrics like the average transaction, if it is, the wait time, the net promoter score, and how they all fit together and understanding different parts of the business model. And then, as you say, in terms of benchmarking, well, actually how is our operation doing compared to others within the group? What are our strengths and weaknesses? And there weren't actually too many strengths, unfortunately. The sensitivity analysis, all those little 1% parts. And I think we do a really good job in unpacking sort of what that picture looks like and just where those sort of 1% are. And as you know, we've got sort of more than half a dozen that are just sales related alone. And what if you were just able to influence this a jot? What would that make to profit down the line? And then ultimately, how do you work that insight and information into working with franchisees and out in the field? So you're taking it from, I guess, part of that planning and preparation to actually how do we start to introduce this with franchisees? How much do they know about it? Are they even aware of some of these differences? So how do we do that in the best way to be most effective and bring the franchisee along? And from your point of view, I guess, sort of working into that sort of field management part.
I guess just trying to understand where the franchisee's knowledge base is at and what is, what's something that they've previous experience or previous knowledge that they've got that you can start hanging the reports to or tying them to. From my experience, a lot of franchisees don't understand, something as simple as a profit and loss report or a balance sheet. And they they don't understand until they've got the end of year reports 6 months later, how the business has gone, a year ago, which is too late to identify any issues. So I think just understanding what those reports are and how you can relate them back to your specific franchisee and make them come alive. So just walking them through the process, I guess, is a really crucial part of it. And the good thing about the workshops is it seems to depersonalise it so that you don't have the lens just of your network or the attendees network with that in mind. And so with the feedback from the other attendees, it makes people look at a number of avenues of how they can support their franchisees, not just what would be probably their default. So I think it's really beneficial, and it's interesting to watch them grow.
I agree, and there's no shortage of examples for them to see how it all fits together and relate to. And there are a ton of takeaways in terms of financial examples, different metrics that relate to the scenario, different metrics that they should know for their own business, and obviously sort of, I guess, key success factors ultimately that they can take away for their own situation. I guess that's where some of the feedback comes in too, is that there are a lot of takeaways that are sort of going to be directly relatable to their own business, little gaps that can get plugged, or again, areas of emphasis. So overall, I think it's a great addition to our Field Visit Foundations program. It's the second one in the set, if you like, of the 3 programs currently, and really important one that focus more on the technical franchisee performance and how do you improve it side. Any other areas that you'd cover?
No, I think it's a really great course for people, anyone that really wants to drill down and support their franchisees, which I know is anyone in a franchise network. I think numbers are scary to a lot of people, and it does seem a little bit overwhelming probably at the start with all the financial reports and different metrics that you can look at. And so it's just understanding which ones are important to your network or your organisation and how best to utilise those to support your franchisees, I think is one of the key take-homes.
Definitely. And the great thing is that at the end of the day, pretty much in every instance that we've had, I think we would have had the strategy to turn our struggling bakery business around.
You'd like to think so.
That we should just highlight as a fictitious scenario, and but is certainly going to have a much stronger path thanks to all the attendees that help us on that journey.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing you.